Who's not wild about Harry? Of course, we're getting ready for the premiere of the third installment in the Harry Potter movie series. It's called Prisoner of Azkaban, and that is the star of the movie. That's Daniel Radcliffe. And he has been nice enough to stand outside our studio windows on a sunny Monday morning and shake a few hands and sign a couple of autographs after cleaning out all the junk food in our green room just a few minutes ago. We're going to talk to Daniel in just a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, outside studio...
And all his buddies are back for their third year at Hogwarts, and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This latest film, which of course is based on the best-selling series by author J.K. Rowling, finds Harry Potter in the crosshairs of a wizard who has escaped prison and is headed to Hogwarts. That is, if the soul-sucking Dementors don't get to him first.
Why are we stopping?
Dunno. Maybe we've broken down.
What's going on? What's happening?
Daniel Radcliffe, good morning. How are you? You have a lot of screaming teenage girls as fans. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
It's nice to see you. I guess the last time I saw you, you were about 11 and a half, right?
Yeah.
And now you're 14.
14.
So tell me, how are you doing? And are you still enjoying the world of Harry Potter?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, it's brilliant. Especially moments like this, it's really strange, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it, and just the films I think keep getting better and better. So
well,
yeah.
tell me about this latest installment. I guess most people say this is a much darker movie than the previous two. Would you agree with that?
Definitely, but I don't think it's. I mean, it's more. I don't think it's gonna like. I don't think it's not gory or bloody or anything, so I don't think it's really going to freak kids out too much. Because it's mainly a psychological kind of thriller more than anything else. So it is a lot darker, though. It's a lot. You see a lot more of a teenage Harry in it, definitely.
I know that this is my daughter Ellie's very favorite book of the whole Harry Potter series, but for those who have not devoured every one by J.K. Rowling, give us a quick synopsis, if you could, about what happens to Harry and his cohorts.
Basically, he starts off at the start of the film, he runs away from home, runs away from life with the Dursleys, and he kind of quickly learns, he meets up with Ron Weasley, and he quickly learns that there's an escaped killer who's basically after him. Basically the whole film centers around that, and Harry's almost kind of paranoia about the character of Sirius kind of hunting him down.
There have been a lot of mysteries in Harry's life, and some of those mysteries begin to be unraveled in terms of what happened to his parents. So it must be satisfying for people in a way to have these secrets revealed.
Yeah, I think that's what's... because Harry has, especially with the character of Lupin, the Professor Lupin in the film, who's the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, the main thing about Harry's relationship with him is that he's never met someone who's actually known his parents so well. And so Harry's getting to know his parents through other people in this one, which is it's really important to him, but he's just never experienced that before. He's never really known anything about them other than they died very young, when he was very young.
Meanwhile, there's some new people involved in this movie, and we'll talk about the director in a moment, but Gary Oldman has become a part of the Harry Potter world. Yeah. How did you feel about that, and what was it like working with him?
Well, I think he's just the best actor of his generation. I think he's just unbelievable. It was really weird for me meeting him, because as long as I've been acting, I've always been a really huge fan of all of his movies, and so it was really surreal kind of meeting him. But he was actually like the nicest guy, and we just talked about music, and he like gave me a bass lesson and things.
Yeah.
It was amazing. He was like the coolest guy. He was so nice.
You also have a new director. Chris Columbus directed the first two.
Yeah.
And now you have Alfonso Cuarón who is doing this one. How was the change, and what did he do differently? Was it exciting to work with a new director, and was it intimidating in a way?
It was intimidating to start with, because we'd worked with Chris for 2 years, and then we suddenly had a new director, but we got to know him, and he was great, and he's made a really amazing film. I think some of the things that we
so you have to bring
kind of that were different was because we'd kind of grown up with Chris, and so Chris had taught us loads of stuff. and we were able to put that into practice with Alfonso because like Alfonso was able to do longer takes because we were older and we could understand. We were more focused.
And you have much more experience.
Yeah.
Let me show another clip if I could. This features you and Professor Lupin, who's played by David Thewlis. David Thewlis, and he's trying to teach you a powerful spell that will help you fight the Dementors.
Right. Okay.
Then let's give it a try. You feel ready?
Just do it.
Expecto Patronum! Expecto Patronum!
And of course, all the special effects. They're going, Daniel, Daniel! The special effects have become such a trademark for these movies. And I decided I wasn't going to be a pig and be the only one to ask you all these questions. Kristen actually has a question for you. What's your question for Daniel?
Hi, I was wondering, is it hard to have all these animations in the movie as you're acting?
Hard to work with all these special effects?
You kind of get used to it after a while, but when you start off, it's most hard when you've got a character like Buckbeak or like in the second film, Dobby, because you're kind of having to interact with them, whereas if it's Quidditch, it's just kind of on the background, so you don't really notice it. But it is hard to begin with, but then you kind of get used to it.
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. You can stay put. This is Kimberly. She has a question.
Hi, I've read the books a million times, and I went to the premiere last night. It was amazing.
Oh, cool.
And I just want to know, like, how do you, after reading the books, like, how do you act that character and keep it Harry Potter, but put your own touch into it?
Wow.
You can have my job.
You just kind of have to, once you read the books, you don't necessarily have to put any of your own twist to it, because it's such a well-defined character in the books that, I mean, it's really well drawn-out character. So, you know, all the explanation you need to play it's really in the books, so I don't have to do much work, really.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing this movie. Do you have a favorite now that you've done 3?
I think they just keep getting better and better, so I think the third film probably is my favorite.
The publicity people told you to say that, didn't they?
No, not at all. No.
Anyway, girls, thank you so much for helping me out. Kristen and Kimberly. Daniel, great to see you.
Nice
Emma and Rupert are doing well, by the way?
Yeah, they're great.
Okay, good. I know we'll be visiting with them this week. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you again, Daniel.
Thank you very much.
And up next,